in the racing realm, when you're getting into it and getting your feet wet, was there somebody that kind of took you under your wing to mentor you or guide you through that?
No one not one particular person. I got advice from a lot of different people. I'd reach out to certain people, go watch what certain people are doing, research on certain people, just to kind of learn their route, what they did, what worked for them, what didn't. I learned from a lot of people. It wasn't just one particular person, because racing isn't this sport that there's just like one route. Like in football, it's just one route. Yeah. You go from middle school to high school football to college football, because again, drafted to the NFL. That's it. Like there's no other way around it. You don't go this way and come around it. No, it's just one way. Same thing with basketball, soccer, all that stuff. Racing, no. Like I can go from go-karts to like open wheel racing to sports car racing to NASCAR, and like it's just no route, So what I did was I just learned from everyone's story. I'm like, who made it to the top of their game, who was really good, who made things work, and not just being really good driver, but who were able to figure out all the fundamentals of racing. It's not just driving. A lot of people think, oh yeah, just be a really good driver and you're just going to make it. No, because there's a funding side of it. If there's no money to put you in a race car, then you're not racing, no matter what. It's just not a free game. Like tires are, Goodyear isn't going to give you tires for free. It's their business too. So you got to pay for those, right? Someone has to pay for it. And if the team owner doesn't have enough money, then the driver has to figure it out. And the driver has to either go find it or hopefully come from a wealthy family. I don't come from a wealthy family, so I had to go find it. And I found it through sponsorship. I found it through putting together business opportunities for myself. I have a few businesses now, all these different things. I figure out a way.
Let's talk about that. What are you diving into business wise? This originally started as an entrepreneurial podcast and has turned into more of an entertainment / entrepreneurial podcast. But I'd love to hear your business side. What are you dabbling in right now? Where have you ventured into business wise?
Yeah. So as far as business stuff, it all started in 2015. So when I was first getting into racing, I had to figure out the money side, like I said, tires, fuel, people, transportation, all that stuff, race cars, it all costs money. So at that time, I was a lieutenant in the Navy and I was making decent money, but I wasn't making enough to, support a racing habit every weekend, every other weekend. Yeah. So what I did was I figured out, okay, if I start my own business on the side of being in the Navy, maybe I can make enough money from that to sponsor myself so I can be in a race car if I'm not able to find sponsorship, because sponsorship is not easy to find. So I started a business where I was hosting drag racing events. So I would basically rent a track, and I would use my social media skills to basically hype up the event and get a lot of spectators and drivers and all these people to come to the event and drag race their street cars. So basically you can bring your Corvette, your Camaro, your GTR, your Lambo, whatever, bring it, come race, have a chance to win some money, or just have fun with your friends racing in front of a crowd of people. I was trying to basically give that professional feel where you felt like you're a pro driver.
So you were renting the track for this event, or how did this work? You had to kind of deal with the track owners.
Yeah, I rented the track for the event. So basically I came to the track owners. I'm like, hey, I have this idea for an event. I'm pretty sure I can put on a good one. What's your fee? What does it come with? And what do I need to bring to the table? And they're like, okay, here's a fee and it includes everything. I'm like, cool. Now I knew my target. I knew, okay, this is how much the track costs. This is how much marketing is going to cost. This is how much, the extra workers I was going to need to handle other little stuff. Like all that stuff I put together. I'm like, okay, it's going to cost me this amount to do an event. So all I got to do is sell more tickets than what it costs to do the event, and then I make money. I'm like, it's not complicated. So
it's an easy business plan.
Yeah, so that's what I did.
How successful was your first one?
So the first event, I believe we had maybe like between racers and spectators, we maybe had like 300 people show up or so. We made just enough money where I profited like a couple grand, $2 or $3 grand.
It's pretty good for your first event.
Yeah, for my first event, I was like, that's great. I didn't lose money like everyone said it was going to happen. Yeah, like I made money. I was like, that's good. But then at the same time, I was like, I made money, but man, I put a lot of sweat equity into this just to make $2 or $3 grand. I was like, I need to figure out a way where I can make a lot more than this for the amount of work that I just put into it. So then I use content and more hype and things like that to get the next event hyped up, which was 6 months later. And then we ended up having like 2,000 people show up.
That's a big jump.
Event. Huge jump. Yeah. So I went from like profiting like $2 or $3 grand to profiting like 27 grand.
Are you still doing these events?
Yes. I have one coming up this Saturday.
There's a big problem. How many times a year are you doing these events now?
So now we're at a point where we're doing, depending on the year, because COVID kind of screwed up a few things. On now we will be probably sitting at 4 to 5 a year. Usually we have 3 in California, and then we'll have like 1 in Arizona. And I'm trying to figure out a way to maybe have 2 in Arizona, or maybe 1 more in California. I'm still figuring it out. But usually I would say on any given year, 4, maybe 5.
What's the name of the event?
The Red List series. So the Red List series. So if you go on Instagram, Facebook, I'm on our pages are on both of them. If you just look up the Red List group, you'll see the events we put on. And so the Red List series is one that's for all cars, makes and models, trucks, everything. Then Truck War in Arizona and Phoenix, that one's for all trucks. That's actually my biggest event. The last one we did, which was pre-COVID, because with COVID, we couldn't do any events in Arizona last year. But in 2019, we had over almost 6,000 people in attendance. It's pretty crazy.
People, I mean, it's a little different in Canada, but Americans love their trucks. So, it's a different world there for trucks and stuff. That is awesome.